All right. So let us continue with the next concept, which is operator overloading. All right. So we will continue with the concept called as operator overloading now. To understand the concept of operator overloading, I will first make you understand the need of this particular concept, which is operator overloading. Let us assume I have one class, okay? And this class name is, let us say, point. Inside this class, I have two variables, integer x and let us say integer y. All right. Assume I am creating two objects of that class. Let us say first object is pt1, another object I'm creating as pt2. So this is my object pt1 and let us say this is my object pt2. As soon as I'm talking about object, so obviously these objects will receive the space for x and y into their memory allocation. So I will have x and y over here and I will have x and y over here. If I talk about that this x and y variables are declared as public, okay, declared as public. In that case, can I directly access pt1.x is equal and plus, can I say pt2.x? Assuming x and y are declared as public, can I perform pt1.x and pt2.x? Yes or no? It is 100% yes, because they are declared as public. In case of public, I'm having the capability to access through the help of object name and dot operator. Right? Now, can I say I want to perform pt1 plus pt2? Can I perform like this? Answer is no, you cannot perform. Why the reason is? The reason is when I say plus operation, plus is used to add two numbers, right? Can I say pt1 and pt2 are not numbers, but what they are? What they are? pt1 and pt2 kya hai? pt1 and pt2 are the objects. So if I write pt3 is equal to, let us say if I'm writing pt3 is equal to pt1 plus pt2, it is absolutely not allowed for me. But this is allowed. If I write pt1.x is equal plus pt2.x, if it is declared as public, this is allowed. So it means that when you wish to add two objects, in that case, by default, it is not possible. But what I want this kind of functionality where I should say pt3.x की वैल्यू में pt1.x plus pt2.x जाना चाहिए. pt3.y should hold pt1.y plus pt2.y value. I want to implement this kind of functionality where I will use the same operator called as plus operator, which will try to add two objects for me. So can I say I want to extend the original meaning of plus operator? Can I say I want to extend the original meaning of plus operator? Yes, of course. मेरा plus operation पहले सिर्फ दो values को add कर रहा है. What I want now, I want these two plus operation to be used to add two objects. So I want to extend the meaning of original operator. Then that concept is called as operator overloading. Is it okay? Have you understood what is operator overloading? Operator overloading means extending the original meaning of the current existing objects. Why do we extend? Because we want the similar kind of functionality. So I am extending the original meaning. So for that, we need something called as operator overloading. Okay. Now the question is, if I'm talking about operator overloading, x plus y, that is also possible, Haniraj. अगर आप pt1.x plus pt1.y एक वेरिएबल में स्टोर करो, pt2.x, pt2.y दूसरे वेरिएबल में स्टोर करो, it is absolutely possible because you are accessing one single value and you are adding it. But you cannot perform two objects which are added or which are added and by using just plus sign मेरे automatically वो add, ये ऐसे नहीं हो सकते. Obviously, I have to write a functionality for that, but this concept, when you are saying, when I write object plus object, it means you are extending the original meaning of the operator called as plus. And for this, we need to write operator overloading. Now, the question is, how can I write operator overloading? If I want to achieve operator overloading, question is, how we write it? Means कुछ तो टेक्निक हमें फॉलो करना पड़ेगा. Some syntax that I need to follow. How to achieve operator overloading? We have to write something called as operator function. We need to write operator function. This is how you can achieve operator overloading. Now, if I talk about function, can I declare function within the class? Yes. Can I declare function outside the class in the global area? Yes. अगर मैं किसी भी फंक्शन को क्लास के अंदर लिखती हूं तो हम उसको बोलते हैं मेंबर फंक्शन. And if I declare any function in the global area, that is called as non-member function. So there are two ways we can write the function which is called as operator function. The first way is the first way is use or declare the operator function as a member function of the class. Using member function of the class or using the member function. And what is the other way? Other way is to write the operator function is using non-member function. So if someone asks you what exactly you mean by operator overloading, operator overloading means extending the meaning of original function, original operator. And how do we achieve it? By writing the operator function. Now, functions can be written in two locations. One inside the class, then I can say that is basically a member function of the class. Other is outside the class in the global area. I will say that is non-member function. यहाँ तक समझ में आया? the operator and operator function हम लिखते कैसे हैं? ठीक. I'll declare the same. I'll declare the class point. Initially, I will have, let us say, some private fields where I have integer x and integer y. Or let me just write just a second. Let me just take this as public only. So it will be easy for us to overload that. Okay. Let us write here public. Why I'm writing it as public? Because अगर मुझे इंडिविजुअल डेटा को फेच करना है x एंड y को, तो मुझे नहीं तो यहाँ पे फिर से getter and setter लिखना पड़ेगा. To avoid it, I've just declared it as public, just for your reference. Now, I have declared one constructor where I'm saying this arrow x is equal to 20 and this arrow y is equal to 15. Okay. I'm writing one more constructor, which is point integer x comma integer y, where I'll say this arrow x is equal to x and this arrow y is equal to y. So this is one parameter less constructor. Yes, this is one parameterized constructor. If you wish to write destructor, you can write. I'll just write display function. Inside this display function, I'm just writing cout value of x and x value. Maybe I'm displaying the value of y, which is y. I'll say end L. So this is the display function that I have written within my class. So this is the class declaration that we have seen. Now the question is, whenever I can write an operator function, I have two locations. One, I can write an operator function inside the class, or I can write an operator function outside the class. Maybe in the global area, and usko hum bolte hain a non-member function. How to write operator function? Whenever you wish to overload any operator, then you have to go for operator overloading. To write the operator function, you need to use a keyword called as operator keyword. What is operator? It's a keyword that you can use. From this, your compiler will understand that yes, this is the keyword which helps me to overload. कौन सा ऑपरेटर मुझे ओवरलोड करना है? प्लस ऑपरेटर. So I will write that plus. As I am saying, it is a function. तो can I say इसको एक function body रहेगा? Have you understood, everyone? Yes. Now, I will say, I'll pass point class का reference as first object, point class का reference as second object. I'll say point class का I'm creating one more object P3, where I'll say P3 dot x is equal to P1 dot x plus P2 dot x. P3 dot y is equal to P1 dot y plus P2 dot y. I will say return P3. Can you please tell me what is P3? What is P3? It's the object. If it is the object, can I say my function is returning object? Right. तो यहाँ पे return type क्या आएगा? If your function returns integer, so you write integer. If your function returns char, so you write char. If your function is returning object, this object belongs to the class, which is called as point. Can I write a return type as point? Yes. समझ में आया ऑपरेटर प्लस फंक्शन मैंने कैसे इंप्लीमेंट किया? Everyone. So this is basically, we are trying to overload plus operator. I'll save this code and I'll write main. I'll say return 0. I'm creating point pt1 semicolon, point pt2 semicolon, point pt3 semicolon. I'll write pt3 is equal to pt1 plus pt2. And I'll say pt3 dot display. Please understand very carefully. First of all, okay, we will go step by step. First of all, I'll not go for pt3. I'll just try to print pt1 dot display. I'll just go for pt2 dot display. First, have I created pt1 object? Yes. It will go to which constructor? Parameterless constructor. It will give a call x value 20, y value 15. pt2 is another object which I have created. Let me just pass here 30, 25. अब कौन सा constructor call होगा? Which constructor will get called? Will it give a call to parameterized constructor? Yes, x value will be assigned, y value will be assigned. Means I have two objects, pt1 and pt2. First will call parameterless, second will call parameterized. I have tried to give a call to display, so it will display x and y value. It will display again x and y value. Let us try to print the value of x and y for pt1 and pt2 first. Let us check, is it working absolutely fine for us? Then we will go to plus. All right. Can you see x is 20, y is 15, x is 30, y is 25. Now I am creating one object, pt3, and I'm saying pt3 is equal to pt1 plus pt2. For time being, I will put this into comments just for a second. अगर हमने ऑपरेटर प्लस फंक्शन को कमेंट किया and if I'm writing pt3 is equal to pt1 plus pt2, let us understand. Can you see it is giving me errors? It is giving me errors. It is because it is saying plus. Here somewhere it will show you the error, exact error. I'll show you. Can you see operator plus? It says point is not derived from this. Operator plus naam ka function is missing. It is saying operator plus over here also. So point is again not derived and so on. Means it is not able to understand what exactly pt1 plus pt2 is there and how your operator plus is getting called. It's not finding operator plus function. That's why it is giving you the error. Why? Because I cannot add two objects. To perform this, I have written operator plus function. Operator plus function, right? Hardeep, till now I have created objects like this. pt1, it will automatically give a call to parameterless constructor. क्या हम ऑब्जेक्ट ऐसे बनाते हैं क्या? Point pt1 opening and closing brackets? No. This is just the object. Are you there, Hardik? Right. Now let us compile this code and check. Have I got the error now? No. Can you see it is giving me the output for pt3 as addition of these x and addition of this y. अब internally ये call कैसे हुआ वो देखते हैं. I have given a call like this. pt3 is equal to pt1 plus pt2. How internally this gets resolved? It is basically operator plus bracket में pt1 pt2 and answer is getting stored into PT3. It will go to operator plus function. PT1 will go at address of P1. PT2 will go at the address of P2. PT1 values were 20 and 15. So 20 and 15. PT2 values are 30 and 25. So 30 and 25. It's both X values, that is 20 and 30, I'm storing into P3.X. It's both values 15 and 25, I'm storing into P3.Y. So that is what is the output that it got generated. I'm saying return P3. P3 is the object of type class point. That's why I have used a return type as point. I have written PT3 because if the function is returning any value, there should be someone who can catch that value, and that is nothing but PT3. So when I try to give a call to pt3.display, it have given me the current object at x and y value, which is 50 and 40. Since my operator plus function is written in the global area, तो global function को हम सिर्फ function का नाम ही लिखते हैं. Do you remember? Everyone, कोई भी फंक्शन अगर ग्लोबल लिखते हैं तो हमें सिर्फ उस फंक्शन का नाम ही लिखना पड़ता है. पता है सबको? तो ये इम्प्लिसिटली ऐसे ही कॉल हो रहा है. अब आपको कॉल समझ में आया क्या? Everyone, have you understood the call of this function? Just a second. Everyone, right? It means that whenever you have given a call to the operator plus function, it is basically a global function. So indirect call is operator plus bracket में PT1 plus PT2. Is it okay? Have you understood? What if we write point P1 instead of address of PT1? Rishi, that will be considered as a call by value. तो आपको एज अ रेफरेंस पास करोगे तो ही उसका एड्रेस को इंटैक्ट रखेगा, अदरवाइज वो कॉल बाय वैल्यू के जैसे हो जाएगा. फंक्शन एक्टिवेशन रिकॉर्ड विल गेट जनरेटेड एंड द वैल्यूज विल गेट डिस्ट्रॉयड. दैट्स व्हाई. Okay. Did you all get it? समझ में आया? Everyone. Any questions so far? Now, here I'll say plus is binary operator. Plus is binary operator. All right. Can I say here operator plus function is written in written as non member function of the class? Can I say like this? Right? Operator plus is written as a non-member function of the class. So if we overload binary operator as a non-member function, then operator function takes 2 arguments. समझ में आया? Read this once again. Is it okay? I have written plus operator overload function, which is written as a non-member function. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion is, if we overload binary operator as a non-member function, then operator function takes 2 arguments. क्या मेरे operator function ने 2 argument लिया है क्या? Yes. Is it all right? Are you understanding? These are the concepts that you need to remember while overloading any binary operator. If you are overloading as a non-member function of the class, your function should take always 2 arguments. This is the rule. All right. ऋषि, अगर आप P1 and P2 यहाँ पे एड्रेस नहीं भी पास करोगे, in that case it may not point to the same memory location, call by value के जैसे हो जाएगा. तो return P3 की value intact करने के लिए we are passing it as a reference. Always reference is better than using pointer because it saves your memory. Saurabh, if you want to add more than 2, suppose I have PT1, PT2, PT3, PT4. And suppose you want to give a call to PT1 plus PT2 plus PT3 and you want to store it into PT4. This is what you want, Saurabh. All right. So how this will get resolved? PT4 is equal to pehle operator plus function call hoga, maybe with the help of PT1 plus PT2. And then you have plus PT3. Again, you will result or you will get something in, let us say, some temporary object, and you will say PT3. Again, operator plus function call hoga, and operator plus function call hoga maybe on temp and PT4. Ultimately, you will get the answer. So it is if you are using plus operator multiple number of times on multiple object, nesting होके वो दो करके treat करेगा, result store करेगा, next लेगा and result store करेगा. Hope Saurabh you have understood. Yes. Did you all get it? The function or binary overloading operator as a member function, right? Global area में समझ में आया? All right. Now I will take the same code up to this point, up to the class declaration. And now in my class, I will write operator plus function. What I'll write? I'll write operator plus function. But in this case, I will write, let us say, point address of temp or address of other. The return type is a point itself. Let me just write the code, then you will understand properly. I'm writing point temp. Temp dot x is equal to current object ka x plus other object ka x. Someone is on mute, unmute. Sanket, I am muting you. Right. Other object ka x value. Again, temp dot y is equal to current object, that is this arrow y, and other dot y. And I'll say return temp. Let us take the same main now and understand the call. I'll take the same main. All right. In this case, all right, PT1 is displays, let us say 30 and 40. I'll change the values to avoid the confusion. Let us say 40 and 45, 55. Okay. PT1, PT2 will get displayed. PT3, I've created another object. PT3 is equal to PT1 plus PT2. Now, let us understand the call. First question. Suppose generic question. I have a class A. Inside this class A, I have a display function, right? And suppose in main, I have created a object. Can you please tell me display is a member function or the non-member function? Display is a member function or the non-member function? It's a member function. If I wish to give a call to member function, then can I write a obj dot display? Are you all agreeing with this? Yes. Means whenever I wish to give a call to member function of the class, I need somewhere on the left hand, someone on the left hand side that is nothing but object. Can I say like this? Yes, of course, I need that. Correct? अगर मैं यहाँ पे सिर्फ display लिखती थी, will my compiler understand what is this display? No. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion says that if we wish to give a call to the member function of the class, we need its object. Correct? Similarly, object name dot display. Absolutely correct. I have given a call pt3 is equal to pt1 plus pt2. If my operator plus function is written as the member function of the class, so pt1 dot operator plus ब्रैकेट में pt2 ऐसे कॉल होता है. Have you understood? And the result will be stored into pt3. If I am using operator plus function in the member function of the class, then indirectly your function should be called as operator plus. लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में 100% उसको ऑब्जेक्ट चाहिए, राइट हैंड साइड में मैंने पॉइंटर अदर दे दिया. समझ में आया? आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग इंटरनल कॉल, how it gets resolved. Did you all get it? Why I have taken one object on the left hand side? It is because one object name के साथ ही मेरा member function call होगा. Did you all get it? Are you guys there? I'll explain again. When you were giving a call pt1 plus pt2 in the global area, operator plus function कहाँ पे था? Global area में था. ग्लोबल एरिया में था तो ऑपरेटर प्लस ब्रैकेट में pt1 pt2 पास हुआ था. इतना समझ में आया था? Everyone? Yes or no? At least post yes or no. Yes. Can I say operator plus function ये ग्लोबल फंक्शन था? Obviously. तो ग्लोबल फंक्शन को कॉल करने के लिए लेफ्ट साइड में ऑब्जेक्ट लगता है क्या? नहीं लगता है. नॉन मेंबर फंक्शन मतलब ग्लोबल फंक्शन हो गया ना. ओके, सो इफ आई एम राइटिंग ऑपरेटर प्लस फंक्शन एज अ मेंबर फंक्शन ऑफ द क्लास, in that case will I require object on the left hand side to call a member function of the class? Will I require? Yes, of course I will require, because कोई भी क्लास के मेंबर फंक्शन को कॉल करने के लिए लेफ्ट साइड में उसका ऑब्जेक्ट नेम होना जरूरी है. तो इंटरनली व्हेन आई एम राइटिंग प्लस, for what it will search for operator plus function. But since it is written inside the class, then left hand side में it should take one object, right hand side में it should take one object. Have you understood the call now, everyone? So internal call I'm explaining. Now can you please tell me operator plus function is called upon which object? Operator function is called upon which object? pt1, pt2, pt3. It is pt1. ठीक. Can you please tell me operator plus function is having one argument as an object? What is that? in our call? Is it PT2? Very good. Now can you tell me this किसको मिलेगा? Current object किसको मिलेगा? Current object is basically on which we give a call to the function. Current object will be PT1. Have you understood? PT1 के ऊपर मैंने ऑपरेटर प्लस को कॉल किया है ना, तो PT1 मेरा करंट ऑब्जेक्ट बन जाएगा, right? So let us observe. By looking at this, can you please tell me अधर में क्या स्टोर होगा? अधर में क्या स्टोर होगा? PT2. So am I performing current object X value, other object X value, storing into temp, current object Y value, other object Y value, storing into Y, and returning temp that will store into PT3. So I'll write one conclusion. If we overload binary operator and operator function is written inside the class as a member function, then operator function takes one argument. This is the conclusion. Read it. Hope you have understood up to this point. Did you all get it? Everyone? Quickly go through the code and check. No doubt, output will be the same. मुझे सिर्फ ये बताना था कि ऑपरेटर प्लस फंक्शन हम मेंबर फंक्शन और नॉन मेंबर फंक्शन दोनों में कैसे लिख सकते हैं. अगर आप नॉन मेंबर फंक्शन लिखते हो एंड इफ यू आर ओवरलोडिंग बाइनरी ऑपरेटर, देन it should take two arguments. If you're writing member function, it should take one argument. That is a rule. समझ में आया? Everyone, is it okay? So this concept is called as operator overloading. I've explained the need and I have explained using the member function and using non-member function. In this PPT, I have included ये day 2 के contents में ही है actually. Few functions, a few operators that we can add as a member as well as non-member. So this is the list that you can remember. And these are the operators that we cannot overload using non-member functions. जैसे equal to operator है, array subscript operator है, function call है, arrow operator है. We cannot overload them. And this is about your operator overloading. Quickly go through the code and I will explain the meaning of templates and I will give you the one example of template. Quickly go through the code. Shall we go ahead? All right. Any questions so far? No questions. All right. So let us go ahead to the next concept, which is called as template or introduction to template. I'll say 3_7.cpp. So today we will cover templates, and maybe in tomorrow's class, we will start with a concept called as inheritance. That is the only major part which is remaining for tomorrow, right? So we will see complete inheritance concept tomorrow. Right. Rishikesh, ये जो मैंने concept लिखा, for example, if we overload binary operator, the operator function takes how many arguments? ऐसे type के questions आ सकते हैं. So अगर आपको concept याद रहना चाहिए, इसलिए मैंने आपको program explain किया. सिर्फ याद रखने के लिए आपको नहीं, आपको बैकग्राउंड में कंसेप्ट ये क्यों हमने 1 आर्गुमेंट लिया, क्यों हमने 2 आर्गुमेंट्स लिए, वो समझने के लिए मैंने आपको एग्जांपल बताया, सो दैट इट विल बी विजुअलाइज एंड यू विल बी नोइंग द एक्चुअल रीजन बिहाइंड इट. डिड यू गेट इट? ऑलराइट. ठीक. Let us go ahead to the next point, which is called as template. I'll explain the meaning of template now. Template is actually a general skeleton, right? A skeleton where I can reuse that template. For example, when you create PowerPoint presentations, so you select one template, and in every slide you carry forward with the same template. Means you are using that skeleton for performing your operations, right? Similar is the case over here. To understand the concept of template, let me tell the actual scenario first. Let us say I have to write one swap function. All right. So let us assume I'm writing one function, swap numbers. And I'm writing integer A and I'm writing integer B. Right? Here I'll write the some functionality. When I will give a call, when I wish to give a call to this swap numbers, then I have to give a call like swap_numbers. Maybe I have to pass 20, 30, 20, some numbers as integer values. Correct. But suppose next time when I'm giving a call to swap_numbers and I'm saying 5.5, 3.5. At this point of time, will it work the same function over here? ये same function काम करेगा क्या? Will this function will work for me? No, I have to compulsory have a swap_numbers which can take float A or float F1, float F2. And some definition part and so on. Right? Now, at this point of time, if you observe, here also I will have same kind of functionality. Maybe I can write some temporary variable. Temporary is equal to A is equal to B is equal to 10. Here also I will have float temporary is equal to A or F1, and F1 is equal to F2, and finally F2 is equal to 10. What is the major difference over here? The major difference over here is, here I have the type as integer and here I have the type as a float. This is only the major difference. Can I say the logic part is exactly the same? Of course it is same because I want to swap two values. So in that case, if I say इस particular integer and इस particular float के लिए जब मैं इनको कॉल करती हूं, I will mention something called as type. If my type is integer, consider both as integer value. If my type is float, consider both as float values. So, जब मैं swap numbers function को कॉल करती हूं, swap underscore numbers, in that case, if I type it as integer by passing 30, 20, this is basically will go or will try to perform the swapping operation for my type of integer numbers. And if I write swap underscore numbers and I write float, in that case, if I say 5.4 and maybe 3.5, it will pass over here. Can I say at this point, I am passing the type at the time of function call? I am passing the type at the time of function call. This concept is called as function template. So what is function template? Function template is I am specifying the type parameter at the time of function call. It is a function template. जब मैं integer बोलती हूँ, it will considered as integer. जब मैं float बोलूंगी, it will be considered as float. The logic remains the same. So this is nothing but a generic programming which can reduce the developer efforts. Have you understood why we are going for templates? Right. Hardik, if you wish to swap integer and float, you can pass integer comma float. यहाँ पे आपके दो parameters हो जाएंगे फिर. One is of type integer, another is of type float. So it is based on the user whether you want to go for only one type parameter, whether you want to go for two parameters, three parameters, and so on. Okay. Have you understood what is the meaning of template? Yes. Amay, why use necessary of template? Akshay, it is because when you are talking about template, तो मेरा कोड साइज भी कम हो जाएगा, मुझे लाइन ऑफ कोड कम लिखने पड़ेंगे. एज अ डेवलपर मेरे राइटिंग कोड के एफर्ट्स भी कम हो जाएंगे. बिकॉज अगर सपोज आप पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन बना रहे हो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू आर सिलेक्टिंग वन टेम्पलेट, आपने एक मास्टर स्लाइड बना दिया और यू हैव क्रिएटेड योर ओन टेम्पलेट. If you carry forward that template, will it reduce your time in design part? Of course, yes, because that generic template is decided by you and you have selected and which will get carry forwarded. Similarly, if I'm using a function template, in that case, or if I'm using a template, you are generalizing your code such that whatever type of data is coming to me, I will definitely perform the swapping of these numbers. This is one example. This will reduce the efforts by the developers. All right. Now, yes, writing this is must. I'll take one example. You will understand. Just hold on. I'll take one example. You will understand templates in a proper way. Shall I write one example now? Then you will understand. Okay. If I wish to go for template in the program, I have to use a keyword template. I have to mention class T. What is this T? T is called as type parameter. Now, I'll say void swap numbers. Here I'll say T, maybe address of O1, T, address of O2. I'll write the logic part. T T is temp, right? And I'll write temp is equal to O1. O1 is equal to, let me complete Pawan. O1 is equal to O2 and O2 or O2 is equal to temp, and I'll give semicolon. At this point, I have written a swap function. Whenever I am saying class T over here, T indicates the type parameter. If I say template, in this case, your compiler will understand this is a generic programming. It's a template usage. That means there will be one type template, one generic thing that the user is passing. So let us understand over here. Suppose I'm writing integer n1 is equal to 10 and I'm saying n2 is equal to 15. Let me just try to print n1 in as initial values, n1 and n2, and I'm printing this. So these are, let us say, before swap values. I wish to give a call to swap underscore num function. Normally, when I write a swap underscore num function call, at that moment, I will pass n1 and n2. But inside my swap function, have I used T as a template? Have I used T as a template? Yes. क्या मेरे कंपाइलर को पता है क्या T क्या है? At this point, is my compiler is aware what is this T or what is this type? No. So while giving the function call inside the angular brackets, I'm specifying integer. And let us say I'm printing after values. So इससे क्या हुआ? While giving the function call, I have specified the type of parameter T. Why only one? Because angular brackets में I have given one type only. So wherever there will be T, it will be considered as an integer parameter. It will be basically performing the swap operation. Let us just execute. Let me first complete, then you have queries, you can ask. I'm compiling this code and executing. It is giving me before values 10 and 15, after values 15 and 10. Now suppose I am writing here float f1 is equal to 5.5, f2 is equal to 3.5. Now I will try to print the values before and after. So I will say before f1 value, I'll say f1, and I'll say f2 value and f2. f2, f2. So I'll write here f1, I'll write here f2. Now I wish to swap f1 and f2. So here I'll say float. All right. Can you please tell me now what is basically the type parameter that I have passed on line number 23? What is the type parameter that I have passed? It is float. So अब मेरे float की value swap होगी. तो swap में T will be considered as float and everything will be getting swapped in case of values of float numbers. So मुझे अब दो बार function लिखना पड़ा क्या? नहीं. Only once I have written the code where I have mentioned the type. Is my code is working same for your integer as well as for your float? Right. Now someone have asked me, can I write one integer and float? You can specify one more time template class A and you can define class B. तो आपको swap में कैसे लिखना पड़ेगा? You have to write swap numbers maybe A and maybe B का B. जब आप swap number को कॉल कर रहे हो, at that moment you can pass integer comma float and you can write 10 40.5. जब आप swap numbers में पास कर रहे हो float comma integer, it means you are specifying consider the first parameter as float and consider the second parameter as integer. I hope, Sahir, you have got your answer. So it is based on the developer whether you wish to go for one generic thing or two types of parameters. वैसे आपको declaration करना पड़ेगा within the angular brackets. जैसे यहाँ पे मैंने एक ही angular bracket लिखा, तो when I have given a function call, I have passed only one integer. When I have given टू पैरामीटर्स, तो जब मैं यहाँ पे टू क्लास पैरामीटर्स बोलती हूँ टेम्पलेट के, तो मुझे दो पैरामीटर्स पास करने पड़ेंगे. दिस आई विल कीप इट फॉर योर रेफरेंस एट द एंड. No doubt you have to write a proper definition for it. But hope the one who have asked me, can I have two parameters? One is of type integer and float. Yes, of course you can have, provided you have to write a separate function for it. It is because there can be some function who can take only integer. So this will be the code and so on. Yes, Tushar, why I'm passing by reference? Because I want these values to be referred or pointed by reference variable. Because otherwise it will be considered as a call by value. And in case of call by value, values will get destroyed. I do not want to destroy it. I want the values to be changed through the reference. So instead of using pointer, I can use any time in as a reference, which will save my memory. Right. So have you understood the meaning of what is template and function template? So what I'll do, day 3 PPT, let it be with you. So tomorrow we will see day 3 contents, that is C++ inheritance, the friend function, and many more things. Right? I'll just stop the recording. Just a second. Yeah. If you have any queries, please do ask. I'll just turn off the video since morning it is little power cut. So that's the reason I was switching it off and on. Okay. Any questions so far? Please do ask. Quickly go through the code. If you have any queries, please ask. I'll wait. And the syntax part, right, Apara? In case of your maybe templates, you should understand the syntax part. That is important. Second is, why do we write class? Class is basically written, it is a syntax that you need to follow. Okay, Atharva? So template, bracket make class, and then angular brackets. This is the syntax that you need to follow. Yes, Sanket, yes, Sunbeam takes the exam at the end of your course. मतलब आपका अभी एप्टीट्यूड होने के बाद नॉर्मली आपका टेस्ट रहेगा. स्मिता मैम विल schedule your test and she will post you proper details. Not to worry. Your end test is completely based on the complete as per similar to your CCAT exam. Okay. जिसको हम बोलते हैं टेस्ट सीरीज 1 एंड टेस्ट सीरीज 2. टेस्ट सीरीज 2 का आपको कंपलसरी देना पड़ेगा. अगर नहीं दिया तो यू विल नॉट गेट द प्रीकैट सर्टिफिकेट. ऑलराइट. When different objects are created, memory is allocated to. Mohit, whenever you create an object, it gets the stack memory allocation because it is temporary memory. Once the object comes out of the scope, that memory is destroyed. Can't we able to access the quiz later? No. Rishikesh, we do not share the questions of the quiz. They are already uploaded on server. Whenever I have rights to set the test, so whenever I'll set it, it is visible from that morning time 11 to night 11. And it is just 10 minutes test. Then also we are keeping it open for the whole day so that the other students, those who are working, can give the test. Right. Akshay, I will have a word with Smita ma'am regarding your test series and ma'am will post you the details. Nothing to worry. But you have ample amount of time, right? From 8 to 2 lecture ke baad you have complete evening for studies. So you can go for it. But anyways, ma'am will also guide you according your test.